is the count. That is how many attempts, plus practice attempts, we have failed on Death Moon. And probably some of them aren't really that legitimate of attempts, right? But we're just gonna go to practice mode and apparently hold at the wrong time. Okay, we're clearly need to get a little bit of practice before we start. There we go. You know, it's when you start the timing and you're not, you know, it's tricky. The wave is very dependent on being on the same time, you know, when you start it, and it just gets a little out of whack, you know, starting like, yeah, we're gonna hit the portal, but when? Because the checkpoint that I placed is just very slightly before the portal. But we don't need practice on that part. We'll do fine. You know, we'll do fine. Well, you know, that's just where we died for the real thing, right? So that's right where our best was. That was the mistake that we made. But no, not the winning run, just practice. It would have been pretty lame to do like a 32 to the end, but I think the checkpoint that we would have died on there would have been like the mini wave, so. Hey Gamercat, hey Blue Man Builder. Upload the Holy Bible. You know, maybe I'll do a Bible commentary someday. I've read the book a whole lot of times, far more than many people have. Because if you're sitting in church, you're allowed to read the Bible, and often the book is the best thing about being in that place. At least that was my experience growing up. I like the book just fine. I'm not going to talk too much about my feelings on the rest of it broadly. A very good book. I like books. I'm a King James Bible guy, of course, although I've read, you know, dozens of the translations. I like the prettiest one. I believe in art and beauty. I worship at the altar of aesthetics. I believe in like brilliance and intelligence and philosophy and like the joyous power of music and trees and stuff. That's what I believe in. I think religions don't talk about the trees enough. They need to be more Lorax like. I'm not just saying that because I've already got the mustache for a Lorax. You know, I just like trees is all. Ha! Yeah, so You're good at Geometry Dash? I'm not, as you can tell. But I, of course, have only been trying on this level for 4,300 times, so we all like to learn at our own pace. Ah, I knew that was bad. Yeah, we just need to... So I even feel fine about this mini UFO part. We've been doing it pretty clean. And this part is, you know, fine. It's not perfect. We're, you know, as I say, it's not perfect. Your artist is anathema. My heart is to shiver. I like that Geometry Dash uses a bunch of $5 words for the titles, though. I love mythology and big fancy words making their way in. What I call video game words, you know, like anathema or you know, Revenant before they made that movie, you know, where everybody knows the Revenant's like a sort of zombie because you've played Final Fantasy, but otherwise, you know, how many kinds of ghouls does a person really know? Ha 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 ha. I should play a lot of things, but I'm not playing any levels until we beat this, or until I give up on it, or until I quit the game. This poor performance you see is with my basically undivided attention. Thank you, Midas, for your good luck wishes. We'll certainly need it. I'm not very good. Ah, well, you know, we die at 52 a lot. That's our best, and clearly we still need to practice it. Shade Freeze, you say this is a weird looking Oblivion Gate. It actually looks precisely like an Oblivion Gate. It's just my happy little green structure that is a little different. Ah. Probably push. Yeah, I don't think we need to work on that part anymore. Right. I'm so bad. These should be places where you don't die, but you know, you can, so. Right, and there. So all of this is like, you just have to remember that it's about to do the thing, because if you hit that and you're not already inputting, you can't get it. And there you have to hold the input the whole way. So this is nice, refreshing, you know, like, because otherwise, what if we got here and then died with that jump, you know, that, or there? Clearly we need to practice this part. It's... Alright, I'm not doing that on purpose. I am as bad as I pretend to be. Sometimes I'm afraid people will get the wrong impression that I'm being bad in order to be funny. But this is all organic, homegrown incompetence. This is not vamping for the camera or trying to impress anyone. I don't even know how we died right there. Because they're like, you just have to be on the rhythm, but if you do it just like a little bit too late, well, it's a game of moments. You just hold all through that, and then you just, well, you input 3 times there, and not the way I did it. And you can't jump there. You definitely can't jump there. Because right after this, it's what? The dual wave section, which is not that tricky, but of course, we're probably just going to die like this whenever we finally break past 52. It's just going to be careless mistakes like that, because I'm very bad. Okay. All right. You can't jump at the end either, or you die. And then you have like an easy little interlude section where you basically can't die at. Man, I keep on. Oh man, I bet we're gonna die here. Maybe even there. I got a feeling that we're not gonna do this part right, no matter how many times I try it. I mean, not no matter. We'll do it right eventually, just like a couple thousand. To think that I thought at one point I was going to beat this level between 4,000 and 5,000 attempts. That's what I called a long time ago. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I think might be more like 8,000 attempts. Maybe 10. I could just quit before I beat it though. I'm not even like disenchanted or anything. I'm not upset or like I'm not like feeling like I can't beat it like on Club Step where I just don't believe I could do it. I believe I could beat it. I just think it might take like 20 more, 30 more hours of gameplay because I'm very bad. So I just don't know if I'll ever beat it before I give up again. It's that'll be the interesting thing to see. Will I give up before I complete a meaningless task? But of course, we imbue tasks with meaning ourselves. The meaning's not intrinsic to the enterprise, So perhaps me and Sir Green Blockington can find some success even while we fail. And if not, well, at least I had chicken. Oh, well, I didn't jump that last time, and so we died also. That's good. Alright, we're going to stop the practice. Because honestly, I mean, we're not getting any better at that part anyway. I'm just going to do it wrong, so we might as well get all the feelings about doing it wrong. That's what I deserve. Failure. Okay, that's not how to start. Because really, if I want to beat this before 8,000 attempts, I need to be doing real runs and not practice runs. You die too much in practice runs. Ah, well. I know you're not supposed to jump there. I have died there before. Many times. I'm never gonna beat this level, but like in a cheerful way, not in like a way where I'm upset about that fact. Hey Cosmic, how's it going? Ah, well. It's too bad that, like, I'm technically a mortal person and I won't live forever. Because what if I just spent the rest of my life, playing this level and never beating it? That would be a great way to exist, like, for 10,000 years. You say you're thinking about starting to stream on YouTube? Well, it can be a lot of fun. If you decide to, I hope you have a good time. Alright, we're just gonna keep on going. Not perfect feeling, but perfect execution all the same, on account of how we didn't die, and that makes it perfect. Ship part, feels good. Alright, just need to bounce on. Ah, I didn't wait long enough, terrible. Yeah, we're just hoping to get a new best. Even if I get to like 53 or 54% and die on one of that stupid slow cube parts, that'll be fine. Just a small increment. Hello, tablet. But really, any run we get past 4% is a success in my book, considering how often I seem to be dying there these days. Because 52 is just like right at the end of the diamonds in the wave section, where it transitions from like the white exterior black hole suns, the death moons. It got stuck, which was good for the beginning of the level, but did result in me dying, previously. So, the stuck controller giveth and it taketh away. Yeah, the UFO part, it's, you just got to get onto the timing, because it's, you got to feel the hanging in the air. Clean. Bonked my head a little bit there, not great. Recovered just fine. No, man. Well, you're supposed to go twice to get over there. Feels bad. If I had done that yesterday, it would have been right on par with the best run I'd ever done. But now that we've done better, they're playing trumpets for Sir Green Blockington in his dreams. They're driving black Cadillacs outside his funeral. But fortunately, he has returned now, at the turn of the tide, ready to suffer again for my incompetence. That's just what a gentleman he is. Oh, okay. Okay. Bonked our head a little bit there on the underside of one of the stars. I don't know if the input stuck a little bit or if I just held it down on purpose longer than I should have, but at least we got out of the mini wave basically 2 times in a row. Okay. I really don't know where the hitboxes are on those pillars. One day I might learn. One day. I swear some of them you can just fly right through them, and some of them you absolutely cannot. And I do not have the wisdom to know the difference. That was a really sharp death there. I think the input stuck again. I don't even know what the point of playing this game is. Just so I can ruin a controller in 20 hours? You say I should try level Christmas this year? Well, maybe someday. This is the only level we're doing until we beat it, or until we quit. But you say it took you 819 attempts? Well, I've been on this one for 4,400 now, so I don't think 800 sounds like that many. I did beat one of my demons. I think it was the Nightmare. No, the Lightning Road was the second one that I beat, and that was the fast one. It was just like 100 and something. But that level was easy. It didn't deserve its little fangs in the icon. Okay. If I was a more responsible person, I would have the audio library set up for, like, you know, different playlists, and I wouldn't have to skip over the music that's much too chill, or I would just like delete it from the library. But you know, I'm only a librarian of books. My music is not in any order. My records are all just like in a crate with each other in the records that in the order that I had previously listened to them. So, you know, you got Flaming Lips at War with the Mystics. That's right there at the edge. And then a whole bunch of other stuff that I haven't listened to recently. That was a little loopy there. We should have been trying to go straighter, but it ended up being fine. It was just, that was a bad little mini ship part there that was leaving ourselves open to too many failures, potentially. Okay. The old top of the hitbox there. I did it again. You know, you can't cut the angle that close to the diagonal inclines, because the top will rip the undercarriage of your laser right off of you. You will cease to be a wave. You will become a particle, or a series of particles. Okay, whoops. Okay. Not sure what happened there. Nope. I thought I was already dead. I was already reacting to dying because I thought we were toast, and then we died shortly afterward because I stopped paying attention. But you know, that's just the same as dying when I thought I did, only slightly different, and I can't tell the difference anymore. It's so far in the past. Yeah, if there's any, like, if there's a bunch of, like, visual noise in a level, I just basically don't want to play it. It's one of the reasons I like this one so much. I guess that's very much a characteristic of the modern game. Like, when things move around and, like, my vision gets obscured, and then there's, like, destructible looking environments and things go up or down, like, I don't love that. I'm an old man. I like things to be what they appear to be. I don't want the game to secretly be an alligator. Whoops. Thought I died. Even spoke as if I did. Would I ever play a platformer level? Maybe eventually. I did play one, like, on practice that was super cool. I forget what it was called off the top of my head, and I gotta focus now because we're actually getting somewhere. Okay. Okay. New best by a big margin. Up, down, up, down. Hold through all of this. Huge boost. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, man. Okay. Woo! Well, I wish we hadn't died there, but hey, massive improvement, right? Massive, huge, immense, magnificent, feels good. Got the blood pumping. Oh, well, you know, you can't live forever. Yeah, no, I got very amped there whenever I realized that, like, it actually was a promising run. Oh, well, okay, yeah, I forget, like, it wouldn't have been like a demon platformer. It was like in a tower, you bounced off the walls. Actually, I don't think it was technically a platformer level. I don't know. It might have been, but and it looked like styled like sort of like a 16-bit RPG, if that makes any sense. Sort of like I don't know a great example, but it reminded me of like sort of like an RPG Maker aesthetic. You know, you bounced around and you collected the coins, and you could bounce off of the walls, and it was super cool. I just don't remember the name of it. I have it in the old saved file, but I just never targeted those levels because I had been mainly just trying to beat the in-game mainline levels, right? And then they started getting too hard, so I started playing demons instead because the nightmare is easier than Electrodynamics is. I haven't beat Electrodynamics, and maybe I never will. Okay, so yeah, this one would have been that, yeah. So it was like a tower that you climbed was the level, and it was wonderful. So you bounced off the walls, and then the various things would allow you to get verticality, but you could also like slide all the way back down again. And you tried to collect coins to unlock a door at the end. It was an awesome level. It looked very cool. I just don't remember what it was called. I love all of the stuff in Geometry Dash that's not hard. That's just like the creativity from other stuff like that. Like there's this level that was just like running through like a forest scene, there's like a fox in the background and little campfires and stuff. And I very fondly remember that level. Like that was one of the first ones people recommended to me that wasn't, an extreme demon. People like to have their fun, but almost died there. All right, time to shut up and focus. It's serious business time now. Nope, it's not. It's time to talk again. We crashed into the thing. Very precise estimation of why we have died. But I remember being blown away by the tower level because I was like, this is very cool. And I absolutely would like to play other stuff in that vein eventually. I just, I didn't. I guess whenever I searched for, like Reddit threads on the easy demons to play, I didn't see any, platform levels there. Although I should have maybe, just sought out easier ones that are well regarded. Like, why am I playing harder and harder levels when I say what I like is the easy ones? Why don't I just play easier ones? These are questions. I think it's because the collector in me likes collecting the demons, right? Like, why do I care? I don't know. I just like having 4 of them, I'm sure this is not anything I have to explain to Geometry Dash people because every single Geometry Dash player knows off the top of their head how many demons they have, right? Like, let's say be like, oh, I guess I have 150 or so. Like, no, they're going to be like, I have 148. They can tell you the breakdown. Like I was talking about it at work with somebody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I used to play." I'm like, "Oh, did you?" They're like, "Oh no, I never bought any demons." And somebody that like I wasn't even talking to was like, "Oh yeah, I had 13 of them," and then they're just like go back to their thing. People don't forget. Ah, bad. Abducted by Vegetam. Yeah. Maybe I should play easy levels instead of the same level that I'm not good enough to beat over and over again. But I like to think that suffering is my lot in life, you know, and that cheerfully accepting it for what it is the path to enlightenment. And a lot of people, like so many people, have suggested to me that I don't actually have to be miserable, but to them I say, don't I? Don't I, though? Like, are you sure I don't? Because I'm not. And I want to be right much more than I want to be happy. Alright, let's see if we can get through this again. A marked improvement on the mini-wave section from our practice yesterday, to the point where we basically get through there, you know, enough. Oh, almost thought we died. No. I thought we were dead. We were on a weird gravity thing there. I had a real bad feeling about that UFO. I never thought it was going to convert. I thought we died right at the first drop. Yeah, I had this aunt, you know, a family member, and she would always say that it's better to be kind than right, and I would always think, you're not nice or right, so if I want to be mean and right, I'll do that. It's a lot easier to be nice than it is to be right. And she didn't want to do either of them. But no, for sure. Yeah, look, I've seen The Matrix. Some people want to go back. I want to learn Kung Fu, you know. I want to ignore Morpheus and look at the woman in the red dress for the purposes of the plot. You know, respectfully. But I think people focus way too much on being happy when they should think more about philosophy. No, it's that come on, terrible. It's that I don't really think happiness is a good goal for me. Like, it's fine for other people, you know, like, it's fine for other people. Like, if you want to buy a boat, I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't buy a boat. Do your thing. I wouldn't buy one. Do I play with a mouse? No, I play with an Xbox controller. I used to play with a PlayStation 4 controller, but it finally broke. And this controller is in the process of breaking, probably because I've been playing Geometry Dash with it. I don't, like, throw it or anything. It's just the button presses, you know. I don't know how many tens of thousands they're good for. I need to figure out if I can make my own controller with only one button on it. And then when it wears out, I can swap out the button. Whoops. Bad. You say the input lag was being extremely horrible? I don't know, maybe. Because of my hands, I just can't play with the mouse. Not for any extended period of time. I would be a stronger player with it. The times that I pick the mouse up, I immediately perform better on, like, wave and ship portions, but my hands just, they can't do it. They go numb much too quickly. So unless you want a 5-minute stream of Geometry Dash, it's the controller. Thank you, Q. Yes, it was a glorious run. Very nice stuff. And then we heartbreakingly bashed right before we would have gotten another huge improvement, just like right at the end of the mini UFO. Blah. No, like, there are times when the input button sticks, and I complain about it, and you'll always basically know because you'll see my character bouncing at the beginning, and I never remember to hold at the start of an attempt immediately after like a long death, because I'll always be in the middle of complaining. So if my guy is blocking, like right there, how I didn't jump, even though I was actively thinking about it at the beginning, so you'll know that that was a real death. But it's frustrating when it happens, but hey, what are you gonna do? Yeah, because the last like 90% is free, right? So at 64%, like you're not too far off from being there. And you got what? You've got jump up to the easy little tunnel portion, and then into dual wave, which goes into single wave, and then that weird ship section for a bit. And none of it's like particularly hard, right? You just gotta not die. And like 74 to 100, I've done I think 7 or 8 times, like a bunch, right? So if we get there, we might well just be able to do it, but we also could be here for another, 3 or 4,000 attempts, because I am very bad. Ah, well, there you go. Good luck on Club 7. But yeah, no, if we can get like any amount further than 64, like I was not feeling like I was definitely gonna die. Like I thought it was gonna be the run, honestly. Like I had the exact feeling of like, okay, here we go, that I got like in a couple of other times, like just normal stuff, you chat, you're hanging out, and you're talking about how you're never going to do anything right, and then right around 30%, you're like, oh, okay, I'm still alive, and then before you know it, you're like 50, and you're like, oh, okay, now we're talking. But we did most of the mini UFO, and yeah, I definitely think any run that we get to 60% on could convert. It's just, there's a couple big roadblocks on the way to getting there, but okay, that's one of them. Yeah, I did 74 to 100 last stream, and I did it a few streams before that, and then a few times before then too. So it was like the very first practice I did, I think I backed up and did it a couple more times. Because it's like that ship part's not that delicate. It's just, it'll be hard to nail at the end of a long run when the emotions are high. Fortunately, like a lot of levels, it doesn't save the hardest part for the end. I don't know what I would identify as the hardest part. I used to think it was there, but, like I just learned where you could take the angles a little better, and that way you're not having to bounce around. Oh, no. I knew when I hit the second input that it was too much. I was nervous. I thought the vertical position was bad, but maybe it would have worked. We were never going to skirt underneath it from that far forward, though. Ah, well, okay. I'm so glad I got that PB earlier, because now I get to feel fine the whole run no matter what. Like, you can hang your hat on a 64%, that's another 10% boost in a day. and it feels great. Although probably won't have a chance to play more Geometry Dash for like a week. Probably. Ah, well. Hi, Void. How are you? Thought we would have died there, but we just went through the top of that pillar. Some of them hit you, some of them don't. Ooh, that was real close to the wall. Not ideal at all. And great, we got a weird song with weird voices in it. That'll be great for my focus and concentration. All right. Let's tighten up. Nope, let's bonk our head on the roof. Man, I gotta sit down with this audio library one day and get rid of all the stuff that's got human voices in it, or that's too slow. I need to be a more responsible audio controller. It's like, why do I have a bunch of songs I don't want to hear on my physical computer? I don't have to do that. I'm an adult. Whoops, okay, didn't even know I could die there. No, as I say that, I definitely have died there. I just never know how I die there, so I couldn't die there on purpose, not even if I tried. I wouldn't know how. But I have died there. Okay, drop like a stone. If you ever finish your Geometry Dash level, would I play it on stream? Yeah, probably. You know, maybe not like the day you finish it or anything, though. But like, you know, eventually. The harder it is, the more likely I'll give up very, very quickly, though. And I'll tell you what I tell everybody, don't don't get upset if I play your level for 4 seconds and say, I can't do this, and turn it off. This guy did this level, like, everything was breaking and falling down, and he was just like, no, you gotta do it this way. I'm like, yeah, I don't. My eyes don't work. I'm just gonna turn it off. But I'm sure it was a very good level. I didn't want him to, you know, be disenchanted by the experience. Rough angle almost died, ended up pulling out of it anyway. Much better at the mini wave, thanks to our practice session yesterday. I think we did, you know, a good 100 iterations there or so. What? That's a rough one. I really thought we were over that. I was actually quite sure we were over the top of that thorn, but it must have been just like right at the edge. Oh well. Alas. Okay, whoops. Kind of orb focused. Well, I'll I'll try. Orbs are what I am worst at. Hello, Dish Soap. My least favorite game mode, whatever one Hexagon Force is. Any game mode that's got a yellowish background. I don't know. Does that mean like the character block thing? My least favorite one is the one I don't understand. It looks like a spaceship, not a UFO, but like a weird rocket thing. I played a level that had it on it, and then I just turned off the level because it made me really upset. I didn't get it at all. So I'd say that's my least favorite one. The robot, is that what it's called? I like running, jumping frog dinosaur thing. That one's great. I love that form. But yeah, the what it looks like an escape pod from like a spaceship, if that makes any sense. And like it's got like thrusters, and it just sort of like I don't know how it works because I turn the game off whenever a level does it to me. Terrible. You say it isn't that bad, I just have to get used to it. Yeah, I didn't get used to it, I just turned the level off. I old manned about it. I'm like, I've been playing this game for 6 months and I've never had to learn how to use this. And I'm not gonna start now. What? Okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, well, it's more of a selection issue, right? It's only a skill issue if I'm playing a level with it on it. One could say avoiding a thing you don't know how to do is actually much smarter than engaging with it. They call that a wisdom issue. If you know something's going to upset you, shouldn't you avoid it? I mean, maybe you shouldn't. I'm not a psychologist. Moreover, I don't see one. But I think that anything that upsets me should be avoided, not dealt with. I think avoiding things is dealing with them. That's why I'm in my room. I'm only being somewhat ironic. I actually have a really good time playing video games. And I don't want to do other stuff with my time, or I would. Like, I have to spend so much time doing stuff I don't like doing, like going to work. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good to have a job. Like, I wish I had more money than I have. Alright, focus up, focus up. Nope, crash right into the thing. Terrible. Yeah, I do not have a 144 hertz monitor. I have a 60 hertz monitor. Alright. Alright. No! I knew when I hit it, it was too early of a jump. You'll note that I started saying no before I even landed. Ah, well. Oh, well. That's rough. It could've... when I was in the air, I knew I jumped too early. That's why I said no, which is Spanish for no. It's distinguishable from the French non, which is still pronounced no, but there's an N in it that you don't say. Not the first one, you gotta say that one. It's the second N in no that's silent. No. That one, you know, whatever. I guess we died there. Fine. Whoa, okay. Whoops. Ah, well, okay, whatever. Let's just not jump there. That would be great. That would be good. Be broadly a thing that wouldn't lead to our imminent demise, right? Right? Whatever, I'm over it. Should have jumped though. Thought we were dead there. I don't know what time the stream will end. I've got plenty of time to play, but it'll be hand dependent. And they might start screwing up, you know, in a minute or in 2 hours. I just don't know. They are not reliable sources of misery. They work just fine. I don't want to insult them where they can hear. Until you've woken up in the night with agonizing pain because your hands are entirely numb, and you never know if they're ever going to be able to open a water bottle again, you don't know how much you don't want to insult them for only being able to play a video game for 2 or 3 hours in a row. You know, I don't want my hands to hear me slander them. They were very expensive, and I'm really glad that I have them at all how I do. You know, I have like 140 pounds of grip strength again, and that's awesome. You know, big ups to my surgeon. Good guy. He could have charged me even more and I would have paid him. My favorite part of the level so far, I think I actually really like the the upside down UFO part, and then how you like have like an interlude, and oh, we crashed, and then the dual wave into the single wave going through with like the brambles and stuff. I think that's a really cool like aesthetic thing where it punctuates, you know, it gives you a little bit of a break, and then it gives you, you know, like this, you know, the dual mode with the waves. But we crashed again, but But no, I mean, like, the part that frustrated me most was the dual cube section, because until I learned it, I I felt like I was dumber than Roxar, you know, like you could have gotten any wheelbarrow of like landscaping material and they could have done better at it than me. Just a collection of particulate and mulch, random gravel could have gotten through it easier than I was doing. But now that I have it, it's fine. I also really like the wave part with the black hole suns and then the diamonds afterward, and the very last wave part. Come on! I think is excellent too. I really like the lengthy wave parts where you can hold like the lines and you have the things that you're dodging in between them. I like those wave parts a lot better than the ones that have like corridors that you have to go down, because I think there's more freedom for creativity. It's less take this angle and like, do you want to take the angle? You can go above or underneath it. I like any sections where there's more than one way to do it, and I think that's pretty cool. The only part of the UFO section I despise is the beginning, because the first jump, as you've experienced, sometimes you just sink like a stone and sometimes you jump way too early. But once you're past there, I actually think the timings are very interesting, right? Because the click pattern's regular if you're on your game, right? You just have to hit it at the right point, and there's almost like this moment where the UFO is beautifully hanging in the air, and it's just like waiting for you to realize that you're supposed to hit the input. And if you do it, you just elegantly glide right over that bottom bramble, and then it's such a clean section, and you feel so good about it, or you crash. Or you crash, and then you crash again. And, and I actually, I don't hate it. Anytime I die in the UFO section, besides the very beginning, I feel like it's my fault. It's only botching the beginning that's frustrating. And we got stuck there. Our input got stuck, which was fine for a second, but then unsticking it was fatal. The third jump in the series of 3 jumps with that duel was a stuck input, because I tried to not hold there, and then that one got stuck, and then it was still stuck afterward. Feels bad. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, Hexagon Force second duel. That's why I quit that level. That is why I started playing demons. I said to myself, just play a level that's called a demon, and then you can say you've beat it when you beat it. This is stupid. I probably was a little more heated than that. I don't remember. I haven't gone back to watch my actual words. They are documented, of course. There's evidence to it on the internet. If anyone's curious. I cannot imagine someone is. But, that's the heart of this whole project. Terrible. You say you just beat Hexagon Force after not playing it for like months and months. Well, good for you. I don't know if we'll ever go back. I remember being disgusted with this section whenever I was playing it. Just like mad that it existed and mad that I was witnessing it. Like mad at Hexagon Force for even being born. I was blaming it for Napoleon invading, Spain, Hexagon Force was getting all of the heat. I was close to bashing on the portal there, but it ended up working out. No, man, I knew it was a bad line. I couldn't correct it. I could tell it was bad, but not in a way that let me get around it. Blah. Ah, blah. Okay, sure. We'll just crash into the wall. That'll be good. That'll be great. Nope, nope, nope. Terrible. No, man, that was one more than I normally do earlier, and I did not correct at all for it. Feels bad. Nope, nope, nope. Why? Why would I jump there? Whoa, that was really close to the wall. Okay, thought we were over that. Very clearly we're not. Okay. I guess that's a thing. Okay, sure. That's fine too. You know, once you get past the first UFO jump, they all feel like my fault, but that first one feels very arbitrary. That first one feels like getting struck by a bolt of lightning. I am not convinced I know how I'm supposed to do that first one consistently. The rest of it, I know how to do it. That one, I am less sure.
More carrots. Don't tear it.
Alright, I've really got to get those songs out of here. The last thing I want in the whole world is for, like, my music to have some dude talking in it. I don't want to say too much, because it's easy to find out what song that is, and a real person made it, and I'm sure they did it on purpose. That's just not my style of electronica. I don't like it when people talk. I listen to music with, like, lyrics and stuff, just not for gaming. Unless it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater, you know. Somewhere it belongs. Or listening to Big Iron in Fallout New Vegas. Hey, ABPP, how are you? I'm gonna call you Alpha Bravo, okay? Okay, well, that was, okay, sure. Okay. 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 Right into it. Got it. Perfect. Flawless. Amazing. Okay. Terrible. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of levels that I see, the difficulty seems to come from making it physically painful to perceive, and I don't love that. I I think the pain should come from inside yourself and not from the external world, you know? Fortunate mute button is fortunate. We'll just pause in the middle of a run here. What if this is the one that actually made it happen? That would be funny. You just have to like pause so I could mute the microphone and cough at 8% for a while, rendering the run entirely illegitimate in the eyes of the audience. Okay, we missed the pillar there. That's a late jump. Whoops. Man, that was bad. What? Oh, we missed it. Careless. The time before that we got through, or the time before that one, it was a very, very poor angle we took where we almost did that, and there we see that it's quite easy to just do it wrong. Didn't even know you could die right there. Hey, NutRYZ, how are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm bad at the game. Make yourself at home. We're never gonna beat this level, but as long as we can start, keep on getting slight incremental boosts during sessions of 10 or 12%. If I died at 98% on this level, I would lose my mind. Theoretically possible, I think. Okay. okay. Pretty bad. And we are not getting any further in this level. We can't even get to the UFO part. What? Come on. There again? Obnoxious. Okay, well, that was bad. Don't normally die there anymore, but I guess we're regressing, you know. Okay. Sure. We'll just die there again. Why not just hold down the input slightly too long? Seems good. Seems fine. The problem, with all of this is that so bad. But I think, you know, it's fine. If I was good at the game, I'd just have to play harder stuff, and then I'd be bad at that. I crashed into the lamp again. Great. What Robtile level should you play? Clutterfunk is my favorite. It's probably too easy for you, but it's still a lot of fun. Okay, we'll just crash there. Literally unplayable. Okay, what? That should have been fine. I really thought that was the right timing. Just a little bit too early. Probably like 10 frames too early. Not a huge amount, but certainly enough. So there's a vertical problem in both orientations there. Both too much and too little. Same exact spot. Feels like I need to learn to Goldilocks that a little bit. Man. That's the thing about those thorns. They thought I was dead. Okay, well then we were. Well, I don't. Again, it's my fault every time. I think it's the best designed part of the level. It's only the UFO at the front I don't. And anyway, like 1,000 of my deaths are at the dual cube section, so it's just in the modern era that you're seeing me die at the UFO. That's because all the stuff that I used to be a lot worse at, now I'm only slightly bad at, so we can get to the UFO part to die. That was close. Okay, yep. I knew I was off of the rhythm. Okay, sure. I guess I did it. That's... Okay, sure. I lose more runs at that stupid 14% pinwheel than it basically the rest of the thing combined. That's my least favorite part. I've reevaluated it. It's that mini ship part at 14% where I always crash. Or this part here where I can't tell what part of those will kill me and what part won't. I hate any part of the game where I can't tell by looking at a thing what it's going to do. Which is why I don't like orbs. Alright. Let's see if we can get something out of this. No, no, no. Okay, that was almost sketchy. It ended up being fine. clean. Bonk our head, one over it, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. No! Why didn't I hit the button? Geometrical Dominator. Yeah, that memory section was rough. I died. You best believe I died on it a whole lot. But I liked the rest of the level a whole lot, actually, because that was my first exposure, I think, to what I call frog form. Jumpy Frog Robot Dinosaur Boy. Which is one of my favorite forms. Ball is probably my favorite, but I really like Jumpy Dinosaur Boy. Jumpy Frog Robot Boy. Okay. Bad angle. Should have noticed it was bad angle, but I didn't. Not till I died. I hate this. Alright. I'm gonna actually stop what I'm doing because I hate that so much. And obliterate it from the library. I don't mean any insult to the person who made the song. I just hate it and I don't want to hear it. I should have deleted that song a long time ago. I hate hearing people sing in the background of electronic songs. It's bad. I hate it just as much as I hate, like, skits and rap music. Or, like, fake phone conversations and voicemails in emo songs. There are certain conventions that are normal, and I hate them. For example, have you ever heard the Kendrick Lamar song, Money Trees? Now, it's almost perfect. It's almost a perfect rap song. But at the end, there's a dumb voicemail making it a very imperfect song. And anyway, Kendrick, if you're listening, stop letting Dr. Dre make you put skits into your songs. Skits are bad, and you should feel bad, Kendrick. Mustard. Anyway, Money Trees, great song. And I hate singing in electronic. And I hate sirens in music. There's a lot of things I don't like. I don't like the sound of children's happiness in music. There's this great song by Belle and Sebastian called Get Me Away From Here, I'm Dying, and it would be perfect if it weren't for the sound of that. You know, anyway, I should stop talking about things I don't like. Whenever I do that, I tend to start listing all the things in the world I don't like, and no one has time for that. Literally no one. You're not immortal, neither am I. And I would die before I stopped listing the things that I hated. I hate Kid Rock's music. If I could go back in time and turn him into like a great mountain climber so that he never got around a microphone, that's what I would do. I wouldn't like kill him or anything. That's wrong. And even if I would feel that way, I wouldn't say so on the internet. I would just use my time machine and do it, and none of you would know. Anyway, I'm a very negative person. There's a lot of things I don't like, and we're not going to list all of them today. I don't like it when people make me listen to Pearl Jam. You You know, I'm not going to list all of the things. There's a lot of them, though. And like, I'm not trying to be mean. Some of my best friends listen to Pearl Jam. Never mind. We're not talking about stuff I don't like anymore. I'm going to be really rude again. I'm always very rude when I talk about stuff. Because if I'm talking about aesthetics, I have, like, very strong beliefs about it. And most people find them out of proportion to the subjects being discussed. I crashed again. That's not great. Time Machine, the level? Great level. There's like a run of the levels in the medium band there. Time Machine, Cycles, Jumper, and Clutterfunk, like a great run of levels. It's like, you know, I kept thinking, when am I going to quit this game? And then I kept on like liking the challenge, you know. Okay. That got stuck. It unstuck before we did it, but that sharpness, I did not hold it that long. That would have been like a long hold to die there, and that was not what I did. Okay. Sure. Whatever. So obnoxious. Let's just crash into the wall. The stationary wall. The one made out of wall. That'll be smart. That'll be good. Everybody will like that. Alright, that time we didn't crash into the wall. Bella. Marvelous. We were stuck on a hold again there, which you could tell because we were holding whenever we respawned, and I never remember to do that. Feels bad. Feels bad. All right. Oh, come on, really? Man, I thought I had that angle. I really thought I had that angle. Clearly I didn't. It wasn't super wrong, it was very wrong. Now let's go back to doing this first part 100 times. No, 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 what? I hit the portal way differently than I expected to. Okay. Well, bad news, guys. Hand is acting up. So we'll be ending the stream pretty soon. Hour and 40 minutes isn't too bad of time to get out of it. There's a lot of inputs to be done in this game, you know, so it's quite demanding on the old ridiculous human body that I unfortunately am trapped inside of. I mean, it's fine. And look, if you have to have a human body, I guess I'm fine with having this one. I just think having to have a human body at all is incredibly ridiculous and stupid. I'm not gonna, like, give a speech about it, but just so you know, like, it's not a problem I have with my body specifically. It's fine. It's any body. I don't want to have any body at all. It's been explained to me that it's necessary. I find that underwhelming and disappointing. Yes, I did indeed get 64%. It was some time ago. Right now I'm lamenting the frailty of the human form, for my hands are starting to get a little bit of numbness going on, so we're going to have to end soon. But hey, 52 to 64% is a big boost in best performance for a session. And you know, maybe this one will convert. Maybe we'll beat the game right now and never have to play Geometry Dash again. I know that's not how it works. There are mountains beyond mountains. But since I'm going to have to stop, like, after this run, let's make it count. Alright, last run. Unless we beat it, in which case it's the last run. All right. No! Well, you know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, it was close, you know. 61%, that's still a nice little performance. We'll probably put that in the title, you know. 61, 64, 61, 65. But anyway, that's all I've got for you. The hand can't do anymore. I'm sorry to say, guys. I wish I could spend more time playing this today. I'm having a good time, but, you know, the hands got to do what they got to do. I'll stream something else later on tonight, so perhaps I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really hope you've enjoyed. Thanks, Evan. Thanks, Nitham. Thanks, Q and Cosmic. Thank you, Sleet, if you're around. Dish Soap, Tablet, everyone that's here and everyone that's not here now. Appreciate your input, your chat, and your company. Hope you have the good rest of your day. Maybe I'll go buy some pizza. I'll brag about that in a later stream if I did. I always like to brag about having pizza, but I'm not going to brag about my potential to have pizza. I'm just gonna go and examine that potential for myself. So you guys have a good one, and perhaps I will speak with you later.